Hi, I'm Damon Frank, and you're listening to The Recovered Life Show, and this is an episode of How I Did It. Every episode, I talk with someone in recovery about how they've been able to stay sober. We dive into what their life in addiction was like and what their life in sobriety is like now. Remember, addiction is a life-threatening condition, and the information in this episode is provided as a resource only and is not to be used or relied on for any diagnostic or treatment purposes. This is not a substitute when professional diagnosis or treatment is needed. Now, let's jump into the discussion and find out how they did it. I'd like to welcome you to the show. Why don't we start out by introducing yourself? Tell us your name, what addiction you suffer from, and how long you've been sober.
My name is Tim Lineaweaver. I suffer from an addiction to alcohol and cocaine, and I was very happy and lucky and am grateful to have gotten sober about 40 years ago.
So when you look back, when was the first time that you noticed a problem?
I started to notice that my drinking was a problem when I was about 18 or 19 years old, and I had my first blackout. I woke up one morning hungover, and I was horrified by the things I had done the previous evening. They just weren't things that I would normally do.
So tell us a little bit about your life growing up. Did you have members of your family that suffered from addiction? Did you identify early on that maybe you were different from your friends and people around you? Maybe you can share a story or an experience or a memory with us about your childhood.
I grew up in an alcoholic home. My father was a chronic alcoholic who died at the age of 56, looking like he was in his 70s or 80s. He was shriven, ruddy-faced, and very diminished from his alcoholism. I found my childhood to be extraordinarily difficult because he was abusive and we seemed to lock horns all the time. I knew there was something very wrong with our household, but I felt like I couldn't talk about it, and I struggled to articulate all the complicated feelings that I had.
Recovery isn't just a journey, it's a lifestyle. And now, you can wear your recovery with pride. The Recovered Life Shop is live, packed with merch designed just for people in recovery. Whether it's a hoodie to keep you warm, a mug to start your day right, or a statement tee that lets the world know you're living your best recovered life. Need a little humor in your recovery? Grab the Resentment Some Assembly Required t-shirt. It's a classic. Ready to take massive action? Start your day with the Massive Action coffee mug. Or keep it simple and spiritual with the Chopwood Fetch Water Trucker hat. Every piece is designed to inspire, start conversations, and keep you connected to your recovery journey. And the best part? Every purchase supports great content like this and spreads the recovery message. So, go to recoveredlife.tv and click on the Shop tab now.
I would love it if you could share with us what happened. You know, what happened to your life as a result of addiction? What did your life become? And how did you live your life day to day?
In my early 20s, I went from drinking alcohol and snorting cocaine to smoking cocaine. Smoking cocaine was the single worst decision I've made in my life. And within a relatively short period of time, about a year, I lost everything. My marriage, I bankrupted myself. I lost custody of my daughter temporarily. And my day-to-day life was completely consumed by wanting to have cocaine, getting money to buy cocaine, and using cocaine. I never walked away from it once I started to use it. I was utterly and completely powerless and would do anything to continue to use. It really reduced my life to a very narrow focus, and it stripped me of everything decent.
So let's go back to your bottom with addiction. What was going through your head the day that you decided to get sober? Did you make a decision? Was it challenging? Tell us what you were feeling and why ultimately you made that decision to try to get sober.
The day I decided to get sober was after my daughter's christening, and I had a blackout again and had to be restrained from screaming at my wife and threatening her. We were estranged at the time. A friend of mine kind of sat on me until I was calmer, brought me out to his car and drove me home. And I woke up the next day, I was completely defeated and felt utterly lost and in despair. And I recognized that I didn't really have any decent idea of how to live my life. I had been seeing a therapist for a while, but I wasn't really taking any of her recommendations or listening to her. But I thought she could help, and so I picked up the phone, gave her a call, and she told me to sit tight and she would find me a bed in a treatment center. And at that moment, I felt just a little bit of an inkling of hope. That's where it began.
After you decided to get sober, what did you do? What actions did you take? I'd love it if you could discuss your first month of sobriety. What worked for you? What didn't?
When I was in treatment, I remember thinking to myself, if I could stay here for the rest of my life, I could probably be clean and sober for the rest of my life, which of course wasn't possible. But then my next thought was, what was it about treatment that gave me that confidence? And I realized it was individual therapy, group therapy, AA and NA meetings, being around other people trying to be sober. So when I came home for the first month, I really did everything I could to recreate that. I did therapy, I did group therapy. I went to a meeting every day. I got a sponsor. I started to think about the steps. I made recovery a priority, and I really worked hard at it. I would say the first month was a bit of a rock fight, though. There was a lot going on for me emotionally and situationally, but I was committed and worked very hard at it and started to feel a little bit better as I went forward.
So what's it like now? Now that you're sober, tell us some things that have happened as a result of you being in recovery.
Everything that I have today has been granted to me by being sober. Probably the thing that I'm most proud of is I've been married for 32 years. I have 3 wonderful children and 4 wonderful grandchildren. And I'm extraordinarily grateful and happy to have a healthy and happy family after what I went through as a kid. My sobriety has given me a great career. I've been a therapist working with other addicts and alcoholics with trauma for the past 32 years. I have financial security, which I didn't have when I first started out. And I'm healthy. All of that is because of my recovery. And I can't encourage people strongly enough, if they're struggling with substance abuse disorders, to get clean and sober. I think the other thing I would say is that recovery allows me to be the person that I was meant to be before my addictions and trauma happened to me, and that I can hold my head up and respect myself and have some measure of dignity on a day in, day out basis. Again, all because of my recovery.
What would be your advice to someone that is deciding whether they should get sober? You know, someone might be listening to this right now and they're on the fence about if they can do it. Should they get sober? Should they try? Maybe they've tried and it hasn't worked. What advice would you give to them?
My advice to anyone thinking about getting sober, anyone on the fence, would be to understand that if you work at it and commit yourself, then you too can be sober, even if you've relapsed before. That's okay. Just learn from it. Keep pushing forward. It's so worth it. You'll be happy. You'll be content. You have to work to get there, and it isn't a big adjustment, but you can do it, and man, is it ever worth it. I've never heard anybody that's been in recovery for a decent amount of time who regrets having made that decision. You can do it, and it will be great for you. Do it.
Hey, if you like this episode, think about supporting us by becoming a Recovered Life Plus member. At Recovered Life TV, we're not just delivering premium recovery resources, we're empowering you with the knowledge and tools that make a real difference in the quality of your recovery. By subscribing, you gain access to ad-free content, expert insights, exclusive video and audio segments, special projects, plus so much more, all while supporting our mission to spread the recovery message far and wide. Whether you're seeking to deepen your understanding or stay updated on the latest addiction and mental health recovery trends, Recovered Life Plus is for you. Subscribe now and start living your best recovered life. Just go to recoveredlife.tv and become a Plus member today.